Hey guys, it's Kevin Urrutia here with Digital Marketing Fastlane. Today I have my co-host, Eric Philippou. Hey Eric, what's up?
Not much. How are you?
Good, good. Some exciting things in your future, Eric. I'm happy for you. So,
Yeah, we're super excited over here and a lot
yeah.
of good results these last few weeks. So
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. And plus you told me you're almost having a creative breakthrough for one of your products. So excited to
Oh,
hear.
sort of. Yeah. We just did a lot of good creative testing these last few weeks and we had a couple victories, and that's huge for us because that's just a huge line of scale for us. And
Yeah, and I think what you're saying
top of
there is
mind.
so important too, because it goes into the topic we want to talk about today, which is kind of desire, right? Is there desire in the market? Do people want your product? Is this something that customers actually want, or is this a thing that's happening, right? And with desire, the way you think about it is like this. Think about it maybe a year ago. No one was buying face masks. No one was buying hand sanitizer. And if you were a company that was selling that maybe 2 years ago, you probably had really low sales, right? But you were still selling face masks, hand sanitizers, right? And then all of a sudden, this desire for face masks, hand sanitizer in the world increased. And you still have your own company, right? But what changed? The biggest change wasn't your products. Your products stayed the same. But what changed was the mentality of the people. The desire grew. And now all of a sudden, you have record sales, you have record numbers. And that sometimes, as a marketer, as media buyers, we can't control that. That's something that uncontrollable. But what could have potentially happened, right? You could have been a business and be like, oh, look, I'm a genius. Not that you're a genius. This is the market desire just grew. And that is so
Yeah.
important when you're selling a product and you have a service is if there's a desire for something, you can pretty much sell them anything.
And that's a huge point. The backbone of all advertising is mass desire.
Mm-hmm.
If there's desire for the product, the more desire there is for the product, the less fancy your ad has to be. If there's massive desire for your product, a simple picture of it and a name of what the product is sufficient. But on the other hand, if you're in a very competitive niche or it's just kind of an average desire product, like kind of most products in the market,
Most products, yeah.
you have to get
Average design.
psychological. Like if you're just selling coffee or something like that, especially these commoditized products, you have to use that desire in a different way. You have to
Yeah, you have
leverage desire in the ads. You have
yeah.
to answer the question, what's in it for me in your ad? And I want to bring that up because very few advertisers do it. I look at a lot of ad libraries of, people who claim to be gurus. I look at their clients' ad libraries and a lot of the ads don't answer what's in it for me. And then a week later on Twitter, they're tweeting, oh, why are the results down on Facebook? It must be the platform. And sure enough, their ads, those ads that were running last week aren't running. They paused them because they're not good, as predicted. It's a huge difference between the brands that are scaling and the brands that are failing. And other than product market fit, I think how their advertising connects to mass desire is the biggest single differentiator for brands that are scaling and failing.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned a great example, coffee, right? There's always a desire to buy coffee. I love coffee. There's a few ways to advertise, right? Hey, buy Folgers, right? But then if you're a new coffee brand, you can't just say, hey, buy Eric's coffee, because no one knows what Eric's coffee is because you've never advertised before. So you as a marketer, you need to be thinking about, hey, I know their desire for this product. I can't advertise it with my name because no one knows who I am. So you want to come up into the market with a new mechanism, right? Buy this coffee that doesn't make you go to the bathroom. Now you're tapping into desire plus what Eric, you said before, what's in it for me? Oh, now I don't have to go to the bathroom. Now, oh, maybe this is the coffee I like because I want coffee, but I also don't want the side effect of the coffee that's going to help me. So that's sort of where you can come in with like a new mechanism, a new way to say this thing, right, Eric?
Yeah. One really top of mind example, and why I brought up coffee, is I was talking to a marketer recently and she runs ads for a coffee brand. The coffee is good. It's not great. It's just like, it's a coffee brand, but they have something special about them where there's a big social entrepreneurship aspect. They're very sustainable practices. They give back to the farmers a lot in the local region where the beans are farmed.
Vietnamese
And
coffee?
I don't know that specific
Okay.
country. I don't know those specific details, but it's a very nice, sustainable, fair trade style angle that they're much bigger on than a lot of other brands in the company.
Mhm.
So the ads, a lot of them either they just talk about how their mission is cool. It's a great
Yep.
mission. I'm not saying it's a bad mission. They talk about either this is our mission or they talk about this is the coffee, like the coffee's good, and
Yep.
they're not having success. Basically, the questions you want to ask is how much do people know? It's kind of their state of awareness. They know a lot about coffee,
Yep.
but they don't know a lot of brands who do that sustainable aspect. I mean, a lot of them say, but this specific way they do the sustainable aspect, not a lot of brands talk about that, at least in this specific way. So if you're going to frame it as just coffee, this is the coffee, this is delicious, that what's in it for you is delicious coffee, you're really competing with every
Everybody.
single mug on the planet. It's a really hard battle. But the what's in it for me, you have to somehow talk about this mission they're on. You're giving to the mission, you're not really getting anything in return, at least tangible.
Yep.
So the angle we came up with, I just said, a good angle here would be maybe like be a hero or something. Like the what's in it for you is that social approval, that good feeling of doing a good thing. Not exactly like charity, but you can say, oh, we're saving the world. Oh, become a hero, drink this coffee, save the world by drinking coffee. Imagine a superhero who saves the world just by chilling at home and drinking coffee. That could be you. This be a hero just by drinking coffee angle. It's still in the works on testing, but that's an example of how you would address that in what's in it for me. You want to look for what's in it for them, especially in a less competitive way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's your unique twist on the thing that you want to do? Like drink this coffee and support a child for 10 cents a day, right?
Or something like that.
Not every hero wears capes. We save some by just drinking coffee, right?
Yeah. The logic there, look, I literally opened Breakthrough Advertising, the book. I literally have it next to me whenever I think of an ad. It's such a good book. I do this for fun, honestly. Such a marketing.
It's a good book, yeah.
I think it's page 20 if you have the copy, but
I have it.
Basically, I think the stage of awareness is that third stage. I tried to frame it as introducing a new product.
Yep. Most people fall into that category though, right?
Yeah, especially if you have a certain differentiator. Obviously, coffee is not a new product.
Nope.
But that sustainable aspect, that fair trade aspect, the way they do it is unique. That's how I want to frame it as. That's how they're going to stand out. And the challenge is, how do you make something like that? How do you answer what's in it for me for that? And that's kind of a challenge, whether it's a play on words or the psychology.
Another headline you could do is like, look, mom, I saved the farmer. You save somebody. Like, that's a really good one too.
Be a hero, especially you put it in quotes like that. I just saved this, or I'm helping save the world just by drinking coffee or something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a complex ad. It could be a simple image. It answers what's in it for me. Like an ad I ran recently for Upsy. The head of product actually had this idea. It was a good idea. It's just Upsy covers my family time, or Upsy covers my connection to the world because we protect cell phones. And that was literally the image text, very simple. Just Upsy covers my connection to the world. Instead of saying we cover cell phones, that's like what's in it for me, my connection to the world. By the way, that was in quote. You're answering that what's in it for me in the ad. This is a public ad you can see in our ads library. So that's the psychology of that ad we ran.
Yeah.
And it's a very powerful psychology. We do it other ways too. It's as simple as just some image text with a product photo. You don't have to make a fancy video.
As I said before, it's like the desire to protect someone's cell phone or, keep your phone safe is great, but how do you reword it in a way that makes more relevant to the person, right now? For example, this ad probably didn't make sense maybe 5 years ago when people didn't care about the internet. It was kind of a very little thing that you did because back then internet was really bad on your mobile, where before it could be like, maybe this is ad from like 5 years ago. It's like Upsy protects me from calling my family, right? It's because your cell phone was for like family time, really, not really browsing the internet, right?
Or a TV with like TV, Upsy protects my family time. We just want to tap into the reason why people get it.
And that's why it's important. Again, the desire is also relevant to what people are experiencing right now. So you need to be thinking about how is the world changing, because that's how your marketing message should change. Because
and that's going to last a few weeks.
Last a few weeks, but the concept is still the same, right? Think about it like, let's say all of a sudden everybody gets the vaccine. Everybody's marketing message needs to change because now the desire is to be so high to go out. All these stay-at-home products, now consumers will be like, oh, I don't need this anymore. You didn't do anything to your product, but the desire of the market completely changed now. So sometimes us as marketers and brand owners, you're like, hey guys, how come you guys suck? Well, how come the desire of the market changed, right? Like people don't want to be doing this anymore, right? Think about Eric during COVID time, all the clients when you were here, everybody's sales went up. It's like, what did we do? Nothing, right? It's just people wanted to buy stuff, right?
Yeah, the mass desire, that was a big market change because, I think e-commerce went from 3% to 15% or 40% of all sales, something like that. E-commerce just became a much bigger chunk of all retail, basically.
Yep. Desire is so important, but I think this also goes into something that we were thinking about too. It's stuff like this, desire. This is like what we call like actual marketing. This isn't like just going on Facebook and uploading an ad. A lot of people do that and they think themselves they're marketers, but they actually don't know how to write an ad. They don't know how to write copy. They don't know how to think about marketing. They don't know how to research product. When you talk to people about like, hey, they're working with a brand, I'm like, okay, who are the competitors? What are products people are using out there? What are some alternatives? Is this a brand new market? They're like, oh, I don't know. Like, we're just going to test a few ads. I'm like, how is that even marketing? That's just like kind of guessing at this moment. So,
It's important to differentiate between media buying
yeah.
and marketing. If you know how to make a lookalike that's 5% instead of 6% or whatever, that's not really marketing. That's pressing buttons in Ads Manager. This iOS 14 is a good example. I'm this expert marketer because I understand this public information document on Facebook. It's not making your ads more persuasive. The ad you're showing someone is the same ad. Maybe the person is a little different, but at a big enough scale.
There's people out there like, I'm so good at iOS 14. I'm like, you just read what Facebook told you. That's just comprehension skills.
Yeah.
Like,
or I know how to make a purchase lookalike of people do 2 purchases instead of 1.
Yeah. I think what's happening is that as like, let's say brand owners, we talk to brand owners all the time, new startup owners. The thing is they see Facebook and it's very daunting, uploading an ad. I mean, for us, it's pretty easy, right? But a new person going in, it's hard. So then they're talking to these other people and they're like, oh, look, I'm so good at Facebook. They get an illusion by, oh, this person could upload ads on Ads Manager. That's not that hard. Someone can do it in a week, right? I always tell founders, you should do it yourself. That way you can see it's actually not that hard. And then what you want to do is work with somebody that actually knows marketing, because a marketer doesn't necessarily need to know how to upload Facebook ad. They need to know how to write copy. They need to know how to persuade people. To me, that's more important than someone that can upload ads. Anybody can upload ads. Like Eric here, boy, we have people that just upload ads all day, right? But marketers are the ones that are actually writing the copy, actually thinking about the scripts. Those are the people you want to hire. And even for me, when I look at people on Facebook, at least for people on Twitter, I'm just like, you guys literally don't know marketing. You're just like complaining all day that Facebook is down. Facebook never goes down for me, ever. We manage like over 100 accounts. I don't know how people have 2 accounts, their ads go down all the time. Like
performance just tanks out of nowhere. Or another one I see is ad fatigue. A lot of people will blame ad fatigue or something like, oh, results just went down. I guess we just got to change everything. This is kind of deviating from the subject, but basically you always want to be creative testing, of course. But when people say creative means everything, that's kind of, it's become almost a buzzword or a cliche, not a virtue signal, but like a thing people say in the Facebook ads industry now. A lot of people don't know what that actually means. They think it's between making a 15-second or a 20-second video, or if you have a hook that's 3 seconds instead of 4 seconds or whatever it is. It's not what's the basic user experience, what's in it for me, why should people even care about how it affects their life. That's basically, if you have to be answering those things in your ad and every step of the funnel. And that's really what creative means. It's the angles, it's the messaging, it's the psychology. It's not what color your CTA is.
Yeah. And for me too, I know when people don't know marketing is when they tell you no one's going to buy from like a 30-second ad. The people only buy from 15-second ad. That's not true. I mean, no one's buying from your 30-second ad because it sucks. You see, then they generalize it to the whole industry. And I think that is the mistake a lot of these marketers make, because they hear some marketer that they think is smart and saying 30-second ads don't work. But no, that's because you suck and you're yelling it on Twitter all day long. So other marketers that don't know anything believe it. Literally think about it. If your ad was good, you would watch it. People are like, oh, my attention spans are so low. No, you literally will sit all day and watch a movie for 2 hours. Why?
They'll binge a series in a weekend.
Yeah.
For 17 hours straight.
Yeah. That's literally just an ad. Yeah.
And by the way, people of all generations, not just a millennial or Generation Z.
If you're interested in it, you'll freaking watch it, right?
Yeah. People will consume unlimited amounts of good content.
Yeah.
People have a short attention span for content they don't care about.
And that is so key, what Eric just said there. It's, if your content sucks, you probably can only show 5-second ads. But if your content's good, you can show 5-minute videos, 10-minute. Why do people watch 1-hour presentations on YouTube? Because it's interesting, because it goes back to what we said before, your desire. If you look at YouTube right now, the biggest channels are going up are investing, because the desire to learn investing is so high. So people have 30, 40-minute videos that they're consuming 30, 40 minutes. And maybe 2 years ago, people didn't do it. So desire plus good content is so key to making money on Facebook, any platform. Don't listen to people that says like stuff doesn't work. I'm like, maybe it doesn't work for them, but they're not the whole industry. Some of the best guys out there are writing 5-minute videos, 30-minute videos, 20-page sales letters that people
Yeah.
are reading. Those are true marketers, right? For me, in my eyes, yeah.
And that's 100% true. And again, I want to iterate, when people think, oh, creative is the most important thing, so we need to really attack creative aggressively.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that means like a really good studio, which sometimes it could mean that, and theirs are very good, but it doesn't mean make more fancy or technical things like a better HD camera or better footage. The messaging is the most important part. The best ads I run are stuff you can make in Canva for free in 5 minutes. If you just have a good Evernote document or Notion document where you write down your headlines and you really think about the psychology, I think there's a style ad that I almost recommend to every single advertiser or every single situation. I try to start with this. It's called the Ogilvy Style Ad. It's like a classic style ad. It's in the book Cash Advertising. It's basically a simple image of the product and the headline or the image text, the biggest user benefit of that product. So I think eye cream was one of the first times I launched this style ad at scale. It's like, oh, this made my eye bags vanish in 60 seconds in quotations or something like that. It was something like that. And it was just a picture of the eye cream and someone looking at the camera for, to catch their attention. But it's a simple ad, made it in Canva in 60 seconds, ironically.
You scaled that so much.
And that style we used on a lot of different accounts. I think one was for a job search app, earn money faster. Like that's the biggest design.
Yeah, earn quicker or something
like that. It's just like, and then it's a picture, a very simple picture of someone on like Uber Eats or something. That was during the height of the pandemic. It was actually that was another reason why we used the Uber Eats instead of, someone moving boxes or something, because that was the desire. So
money,
we use it at Upsy all the time. If you look at our ads library, any brand that is scaling, you're going to see they do some form of it. I mean, this is public information if you just care to look how to make good advertisements.
Desire is so important, what you said before, but I think it was like kind of like, Eric, I know we have another episode, if you guys are watching, about state of awareness. It really depends on the state of awareness too, right? Desire plus state of awareness is really what ad you'll make. And in the beginning, kind of what Eric said, when you're a new product, the way you're doing advertising a new product is very different than if you've been doing it for 20, 30 years. So if you're Colgate, everybody knows your brand and what you sell. So your advertising is very different. So as a new marketer, as a new business owner, you have to think about where are you in the state of awareness plus desire of the market. And that's really what's going to make you better ads, but also know how to market to your product. So you can't come out swinging like you're a Colgate saying the most generic brand message in the world. But a lot of brands want to do that. I'm like, you're not this like Colgate. They have 20 years of direct response. I think it's so funny. Colgate, it's always in brand. I'm like, have you guys looked at like a library from like 1980s about Colgate, how direct response they were? I was looking at some of Colgate ads the other day, or I think it was like one of those Crest ads. It's like, look, mom, 54% less cavities with Crest. It's like so user driven benefit, like 54% less cavities, right? That's exactly what somebody wants with brushing your teeth.
Kind of goes doubly for the big brands. If you have a brand with 150 years of branding behind you, your household name brand, and the same brand, the same company, even from the same Alibaba like supplier or something, like that has zero brand equity, doesn't perform as well. Whereas the CPA on something that would be a household name brand is $10, whereas the one that's the generic, no one ever heard of it, some drop shipper, it's going to be over $100 in many cases. I'm pulling from an example that I saw. I'm not saying that's an industry benchmark, but my point is the psychology is everything in that case. The same exact products have the same two products next to each other, where the psychology is in its favor. That's the one you have to attack. You can say the same message even, but when you just have the brand logo of something they're familiar with, it's almost, it's authority in that sense. They're almost an influencer, bigger. So that branding, that is a form of the desire psychology. People take that brand a little more seriously.
Yeah. Going back again real quick, there's a reason why people compare their products to a big brand, because you're sort of leveraging that equity of the other brand and saying, hey, this is a trusted thing. You should trust mine too. So,
or we're the Uber of this.
Yeah. So that's a great, like the Uber of X, the Tesla of Y, right? Yeah. The Elon Musk of blah, 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 right? You're adding authority to your product with somebody else that is recognizable. And it's such a weird concept because you see it all the time in like newspapers, articles, like, here's the Elon Musk of India, right? Like,
or this is the next Tesla. You see it in like investing in the last 3 months.
Yep.
oh, this is the next Tesla. This is the next Tesla. This is the next Tesla.
Yeah, and for
Or
people watching
something.
too, kind of like Eric said, read newspapers and articles. They have really great headlines. And why? Because they want you to click and read. So people always like, I don't read newspapers. I'm like, well, like it's your fault then. You should read it because you could pick up and learn a few things from there because that's what your market is thinking about right now. So you should not play like this person that doesn't want to keep up with the world news. I'm like, you should, because
Yeah.
that's just life.
Another point I want to make here, like if you're a marketer and you're wondering what's the fastest way to get better results, it's not making a 9% lookalike instead of a 10% lookalike. It's take an hour or something, really think about that what's in it for me question, to think about the biggest benefit that you can word in a nice way of your product and see how you can make that as prominent as possible in an ad, a very simple ad. You can make it on Canva for free. Just try it out. It doesn't work, obviously, depending on the product, it might not work, but it's worth trying. That's kind of the fastest way. Really think about what's in it for me and look at your entire marketing funnel, every ad, and ask that question. And if you can't get that from the marketing material you're looking at, you might want to rethink that. So that's the fastest way to win and improve your results as a marketer. And, if you're creative testing and always thinking about that very aggressively, that's how you're going to improve your results long term.
Yep. So yeah, I think what you said makes sense. Take that biggest benefit and then make it quicker, better, faster, easier, simpler. I think it's in the book. It's called like verbing your benefit. Quicker, better, faster, simpler, easier, smarter. Like weight loss. He talks about weight loss in the book. It's like, lose 60 pounds faster or get your money back guaranteed.
There's like power phrases and power words that you probably are even already aware of. You've heard in a million advertisements, maybe because they work. And by the way, the book we keep referring to is called Cashvertising.
Yeah.
I've never read a book that has added more value I do in my work.
It's probably one of the best books. Yeah. We also have a whole episode on Cashvertising. It's probably one of our most popular YouTube videos, by the way. So.
Honestly, I love this book and you can read it in a day. I did read it in a day. In fact, one day out of every quarter, I read this book cover to cover. And it's usually right before I want to do a bunch of different creative tests. Then I bombard my designer with creative requests.
Because I think for people too, it's like some of these thoughts and ideas that we read in the book, you forget them. That's why sometimes books like Cashvertising are so great because it's easy to read. And then when you read it, you just get ideas. And that's why sometimes I tell Eric, like, sometimes I hate reading because I get so many ideas. I'll read one page of like an Ogilvy book and I'll be like, oh my God, I just got like 10 ideas. And I'm only on like the one page. Yeah. It's so great. Yeah.
Like, don't read it just to cover pages. Read it and like, don't be afraid to take 1 hour just to write down ideas you had from one page you read.
Honestly, 1 or 2 pages takes about 30 minutes. Yeah. Because you just like, I think about it, I'm like, oh, how can I apply for this? And that's how you should be thinking about it. Most people just read a book to just say like, oh, look, I read the book.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't care.
The audio book on 2x speed and retain nothing.
Yeah.
This is the kind of book, like every page is adding.
There's so much good stuff in these like classic books. All right, guys, I think that's the episode for today. The books that we mentioned are Cashvertising, Breakthrough Advertising, probably our favorite books, honestly. Great ideas on there. Did we mention other books? No, right? I think that's it.
I like In Search of Lost Time, but that's not a marketing book.
By the way, also like Digital Marketing Made Easy. So it's a great book by the guys at Boy Media. So definitely check that out. But again, guys, just in case you're wondering, we are hiring here at Boy Media. So please reach out to Kevin at Boy Media if you're interested in working for us. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. If you're on the podcast, please give us a 5 stars. We're going up our rankings. I think digital marketing, we're like top 20 now, which is exciting. Thanks. Bye, guys.